Okay, so we're back with more on logarithms. Logarithmic functions and exponential functions that have the same base are inverses of each other. Notice this right here is logarithm base 6 of x. This is 6 raised to the x. This is logarithmic function. This is exponential function with base 6 on both of them. So that means they're inverses of each other. If you remember back to the last chapter when we said things are inverses of each other, we said they undo each other. In other words, if I take f of g of x and g of f of x, I should get x because they should undo each other. So if you look at it, it should make sense for this one, because if you take the log base 6 and you take 6 to the x power, which is g of x, and you plug it into f of x right here, you're going to have the log base 6 of 6 to the x power. Remember what a logarithm is saying. This base to what power equals this? So 6 to what power is 6 to the x power? It has to be x, because 6 to this power is 6 to the x power. This one's a little bit harder to notice. When you do g of f of x, it means taking this guy 6 to the x power, but instead of plugging in x, you're plugging in this whole f of x function into g of x. So you're going to have log base 6 of x in your exponent up here. This one's a little bit harder to notice because 6 to what power is going to give me x? Well, if you actually literally put that power on 6, you're going to get x. This one's a little bit easier if you actually look at a number here. If you have 3 raised to the log base 3 of 9, 3 to what power is 9? That's right, 2. So this is really 3 squared, which is 9. So like I said, 6 log base 6 of x is x. 3 log base 3 of 9 is 9 when you raise that. This one, same thing. If you did some numbers here, it might be a little easier to understand. Like if you did log base 6 of 6 squared, 6 to what power is 6 squared? That is 2. 6 to the second power is 6 to the second power. So, they are inverses of each other. They will undo each other. We're going to use this later in the chapter. It's going to be really helpful for when we see things that look like this. Log base 13 of 13 to the x minus 2 power, and that looks really ugly. But since those are the same base, they undo each other. The answer to that whole thing is x minus 2. So they cancel each other out. So logarithmic functions, exponential functions are inverses of each other.